Do you believe that special education co-teachers should be certified in the content area, history, math, and science? Why or why not? Ms. Kornreich.
Correct me if I'm wrong, I think many of them already are certified in the subject matter that, that they are co-teaching. The problem is that the co-teaching model is not actually happening in every class with inclusion classes with special education kids in them. We're not training our general education teachers to teach all the differentiated learners that they have in their class all of a sudden, because we have lasted them all into the general education classroom and taken away a lot of the support and resources of small group instruction and individualized instruction that they used to have from the special education resource teacher. So that, I think, is the bigger problem, that that we have removed so much of the support that these kids have and tried to make it equal to having them working with them in the back of the classroom, and it's not.
Okay. Mr. Aquino?
I'm going to pick up where Mrs. Kornreich left off. I do believe that if not necessarily certified, they should have sort of a professional responsibility to come up to speed in the subject matter where they're teaching. We have a gap, as I think Ms. Kornreich alluded to, and I think that the real issue is the other way around, that the general ed teachers need more training in dealing with special ed students. And from my understanding, we work with, or try to work with, the schools where we get a lot of our teachers to try to change some of those requirements, but as you can expect, it's a slow process. Is it absolutely necessary that they be certified? Probably not, but it can't hurt.
Okay, Mr. Proudfoot?
I believe that all teachers need to be highly qualified. And when you look at the state IEP, you look at that service line, and there are service providers. Special educator, a general educator, an instructional assistant, or maybe an additional adult support member. And when you look at an inclusive environment or a co-teaching environment, I believe that all of the adults or all the educators in that room have all students as their responsibility. When you have students included, they belong to everybody in that room. So I believe that everyone's responsible for being a service provider for the special education students in a true inclusive co-teaching model.
Okay. Ms. French?
Many years ago, the board had a retreat with top-level staff about special education. And what did we think as individual parents who had children with IEPs? What was our experience, etc.? And what came out of that was the belief that our special educators knew a great deal about the child and about the child's disabilities, but they lacked the core content material to help that child succeed. All children can learn. Some children just need more time to learn the same material. And so the co-teaching model was created, in which you had, for example, a person who knew how to teach Algebra 1, and then you had a special educator in the classroom with this Algebra 1 teacher who had the core content. That was the basic reason.
Mr. Ballinger?
I think many people know that special education is probably one of the core things in my heart, and one of the reasons why I want to run for the Board of Education. As being a member of the board for the Autism Society, being a former member of the CCAC, the Special Education Citizen Advisory Committee, we have seen some great strides in Howard County in the last couple of years with the idea of co-teaching, and also the ability, as Mr. Aquino brought up, of training our staff to be able to understand the special needs of our special needs children. And I think what we need to do is to try to make sure that the excellence for every teacher in that classroom and in that school is raised to the highest level possible, so that our children are getting the best treatment in education in different learning environments. Very happy to say that I was on the selection committee when they selected Dr. Welsh, and now with Ms. Patty Daly, who I think has taken many of these concepts and brought them to reality. So we do have challenges, but I think we should try to make sure all our teachers are qualified to handle these special needs.
Mr. Walker.
I agree with Mr. Ballinger. In fact, at a forum not long ago over in the Cradle Rock area, a parent stood up and talked about the evolution of our special needs community and how the school system has been growing and meeting those needs over time. And I think now is the time for us to make sure that the co-teaching model is providing the kind of professional development and training so that that support is certified in the classroom as well. Because like Mr. Proudfoot said, every adult in the classroom has at least some responsibility for all the kids in the classroom.
Mr. Meshkin?
I agree with everything that has been said by Mr. Ballinger and Mr. Walker. I just wanted to add that I think there is a larger issue there that I think we should explore as budgets are tight when it comes to being fiscally responsible and really figuring out where to target our investments, and that is with regards to professional development in general for our teachers. You know, a little north of 80% of our operating budget goes to human capital, goes to people. It's a people business, our school system, and I think if we can invest in our people more and give them additional tools and capabilities that they're thirsting for, and we optimize that employee level, we'll see that in the outcomes that we're all looking for.
Ms. Vaillancourt.
As many of the people who've watched this campaign and previous campaigns know, I have two children, one who has special needs and one who was not special. But I think that one of the things that I learned as a parent of a child with special needs and the way that the school system in Howard County anyway dealt with him and his special ed educator in his classroom, I, after that point, started to request that my daughter be in classes where they had inclusion children, because he was fortunate enough to have wonderful special ed helpers, teachers who were fully versed in the content areas. The problem that I have and that has driven me to become involved on this level is that not all of the kids are getting what my son got in this school system that made him able to be in a high school now without any supports. They should all be consistently good.